this is Janet with Try It Like It Create It, and today I'm here with the Fairy Stampers video design team. And what we're going to be making today is a Busy Bee card. So what I have in front of me are, I have the bee stamps, and I've already opened the package up, but these are, let's see, FHS 178 bees from Fairy Hugs. And if you've noticed here with my stamping block, I've put them in the corners and one in the middle. And then I have a pair of scissors. I have some intense black ink. I have my Xyron sticker maker, black piece of cardstock, a stamp that says busy that goes with the bees. I have 2 pieces of ribbon here. The yellow is translucent and the cream one is satin, and it kind of matches my decorative paper here. This is cardstock that I have just folded down into kind of almost a square card, and you know, I typically just cut a piece off and decide what size it's going to be, and then I'll make an envelope to go with it. So this is what we have, and so for the first step, we're going to have to run our ribbon through the Xyron maker, sticker maker, to get adhesive onto the back of both pieces. Alright, so I'm going to pull that through. Alright, and rip that off and set it aside for later. So I'm just going to rub down here. I really need the adhesive on this yellow piece. I can always put a different kind of adhesive behind the satin, but for that yellow one, I definitely want it to be able to stick. So let's take this off, and hopefully it's got the adhesive stuck well to it. Alright, and then we're just going to stick this to the top of the tan or cream colored ribbon. Both of these ribbons came from the Dollar Tree. You could use any kind of ribbon you want. This is what I had on hand. So I've got those. Okay, so now I'm going to take my black ink and ink up one bee and stamp it onto the ribbon. Now you could do this with yellow cardstock as well. It doesn't have to be ribbon. I just thought ribbon would be fun and something a little different to work with. So there, we've got our first bee, and then here I'm going to stamp my second one. And I just want to rotate these guys and get a little running line of bees. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm putting them down on the ribbon. I just thought it would be fun to get a random pattern of bees. I think we just need one more here, and we'll put this one at an angle here. And you can see I'm working on top of scrap paper. Alright, so there is our ribbon of bees. And then all we have to do is take that, because it already has adhesive on the back. I'm going to peel that up and place it onto the front of my card. And I am going to run that along the bottom here. Right about there. I'm just eyeballing it. You could, use a ruler, measure, whatever you need to do. I don't want to push too hard on that because I don't want to smear the ink. So now that I have that on my card, I'm just going to use my scissors to trim off the edge to line up on the side of the card. And then this little guy, I'll just set off to the side, maybe use him for something else later. Or you know what we could do? We could cut him off and stick him inside or on the back. So I think, I mean, that would be really cute inside, but what I think I'm going to do is stick it on the center in the back. Right here. Okay. So now all we have to do is add our sentiment. And what I have here is the word busy. And the look of the white on here, I didn't really like that. So I wanted to lift it off with some black. So let me cut this down to the size that I like. And here I am just kind of, you know, eyeballing it. I don't really mind if it's imperfect. And then I'm just going to use a pin here to peel off the backing because I printed this out on sticker paper. And it takes a little bit of work to get it going, but once we got it started, it goes pretty well. It looks like I am going to peel the stickery part right off of that paper. So, alright, let's try one more place here. And if not, we're going to use glue and stick it down. Okay, so let me grab my adhesive here. Sorry for my arm reach. And I'm going to go in and fix this where I've separated it. And put this back together. It looks like maybe I grabbed the cardstock version instead of the sticker. That's possible. So I'm going to just put some glue on here and stick it down onto the black. Alright, all's good now. And then all I have to do is cut my black down. Once again, I'm just eyeballing this. And I am deciding where or if, how I want to put this. So it could be a tag that comes in from the side like so. Or it could just be a little piece. And I'm not sure how I want to do it. Let's cut it off and see where it will look best. Alright, so we've made that decision that this is going to go on here. Let's see, I have some ribbon here with adhesive still on it. Let's look and see what that looks like behind it. Do I want it to stick out? Alright, I'm not sure about this, so I'm going to set that off to the side, kind of figure out where I want to put this. Feel like it needs a little something else. So let me grab some yellow. And let's see what this looks like. So here you are with me designing kind of on the fly. So what would this look like? Yeah, that might be better. Okay, let's do this. We're gonna trim this piece down some, and then I'm going to fold it in half. And then cut this at an angle so you get that kind of ribbony look there. All right. And now we're going to need some glue on the back of this to stick it. So I'm going to put my adhesive on the back of that and kind of figure out where I want that. And then I'm going to cover that adhesive with my word. So it's going to be a little finicky here for me, but we'll get it. All right. Yeah. So we might have to stick a little extra glue under here to get everything to stick down. That's okay. Yeah, not bad. So there we go. Busy Bee little card, quick and easy, and you know, we were designing on the fly, and that was not a pun. That's just, you know, kind of what we were doing here with this card. So hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you follow the Fairy Stampers YouTube channel, and also follow along with their Facebook. I'll put those links down below for you to follow along, and I look forward to seeing you next month. So to finish off my project, we've got the card done that says busy and with the line of bees on it, and I'm going to make an envelope to fit it. And what I am using here is the works board, and I am just following the guides on here, and it says for the size that I have, I want to cut my paper down to 7 1/8. So I'm going to do that here, and then we'll get started with making the envelope. So I'm making about a 7 1/2 inch envelope, or excuse me, 4 1/2 inch envelope, although my card is just a little bit smaller than that. It's close enough that this size will work. Alright, so I started by cutting my paper down to the size that I need, and then I'm going to take my, sorry about that jiggling, I wanted to show you here that I'm going to take the envelope and line it, the arrow up with where it needs to go, and then it says to score on 3 5/8. So I just line up my corner at 3 5/8, and then I go along this score line here and mark and rotate, and just do this for all 4 sides. So before I even fold here, I can tell you that we're going to have a little overlap, and that's okay. So I'm just going to fold on those score lines. I'm going to fold in. Now, if you don't like that overlap, you can definitely cut it off. It doesn't bother me. So I'm just going to leave it there and fold up my envelope like so. And then we're just going to grab some tape runner. Ooh, kind of dropped it there. I'm going to grab some tape runner, and I'm just going to run it on this outer edge here. Anything that's sticking out I can fold under because it's so thin. Alright, so I'm going to fold this up and stick it down. So there I have my envelope, and you can see that my card fits inside, and then this is the top flap. And like I said, if you want to get rid of this excess, you can cut it off. I'm not going to. But what I want to do is make this kind of suited to the inside, so I'm going to stamp a bee on the back of my envelope flap. So I'm just going to ink up this little bee guy, line him up in the bottom of the flap, and give it a stamp. And give it a rest for a minute, and there we go. So now we have our envelope that matches our card and has a little bee on the flap that matches the bees that we stamped on the front of the card.